Hi there, nice to meet you. My name is Serene, and if you have never been to my channel, I am from South Korea, but right now I live in Frankfurt, Germany. I did my master's degree last year, and currently I'm working full-time in Frankfurt. And in today's video, I would love to talk about 5 things that I can share with you guys in order to save some money while living in Germany. If you have also been here, like myself, in Germany, you probably also know that the German economy has not been doing very greatly. But I personally think there are always things that we can do differently in order to save some money for our future. And so let's dive right in. The first thing today is to set your go-to grocery store. If you've already been here, you probably know that there are different variations of supermarkets. There is Rewe, there's Edeka, there's Netto, there's Lidl, there's Aldi. There's so many different variations, but some are a little bit more pricey, some are not. So for example, if you go to Rewe or Edeka, you know that the price range is a little bit higher. But on the other hand, if you go to Aldi or Lidl or Netto, they're usually cheaper. And thankfully, I have Netto 5 minutes away from my place. So that's the place that I usually do my groceries. And it's usually cheaper if I compare it to other grocery stores that I have just mentioned. So I would usually do that. So that's the first thing that I would highly recommend for you guys to do as well, to set your go-to grocery shopping place that it doesn't really affect your grocery budgeting so much. And the second thing that I usually do is to budget for my grocery shoppings, specifically every week, not monthly. I know it's probably easier for us to budget for our grocery shopping every month because our salary usually happens every month. But for me, I personally feel like it's easier to track my budgeting and how much I spend for my food when I do grocery shopping every week. Because some weeks I spend a little more, some weeks I don't. Maybe I spend a little bit less, but then the other weeks I spend a little bit more than my budget. And so that's why I usually try to do my grocery budgeting every week. So I know how much I usually spend this week, and then I can basically calculate how much I would actually have to have in my bank account the next week. So I can have a bit of a flexibility in that. Let's say I put 500 for groceries, and then let's say I have spent 300 euros for my grocery the first week. Then the rest of the month, which is another 3 weeks, I would probably have to recalculate how much I would need for my grocery. And it didn't really work for me very well. So that's why I decided to do it differently. And then now I do my grocery budgeting every week, which has been working because it does give me a bit more flexibility in terms of recalculating my grocery budget for the rest of the month. So I can also recommend you guys this tip as well. And there's a third thing that I do every year, which is tax declaration. In German, it's called Steuererklärung. And I'm saying this because I have met quite a lot of people who are still studying, but at the same time working as a working student, or maybe they're doing their internship, but don't really bother themselves about doing the tax declaration. And it was pretty surprising to me because I have done my tax declaration even as a student, when I was working as a working student, or when I even did an internship. I always did my tax declaration the year after. I did the tax declaration for 2023 and 2024, and I got over 1,000 euros. And then last year I did my tax declaration for 2024, and I got at least 300 euros. And it's not small amount of money. And I would recommend anyone to do their tax declaration every year. It doesn't really matter how much you have earned the year before. I would highly recommend anyone to do it because you never know how much money that you're going to get back from the government. I also didn't expect myself to get over 1,000 euros in 2024 when I did the tax declaration for the year before. And I tell this to anyone that I know all the time, but I feel like some people don't really care about it, especially if you're a student. If your income is not as high as full-time workers, people don't usually care about it. But listen, as a student, I have gotten 1 year over 1,000 euros, another year 300 euros. Now it's a new year, 2026, and if you have worked the last year, even as a student, or if you have done mini job, if you have done an internship, or if you have worked as a working student last year, please do your tax declaration. And there are two softwares that I can recommend in terms of doing the tax declaration. One thing is WISO Steuer, which is a software I personally use. I think it's pretty intuitive and really easy to use. The only thing that I probably think would be a disadvantage is that it doesn't offer any English option. But if you are looking for an English option in terms of tax declaration, you can also go for Taxfix. I know that a few friends of mine have been using Taxfix, and Taxfix has done a pretty good job, so I know that's also a good option as well. But regardless, if you want to do it by yourself, or if you want to use, you know, any other helping software to do your Steuererklärung, do your tax declaration, please. I know it's not that we're getting millions of euros back, but it is still something that you should get back from the government. Really, please, trust me, do it. And the fourth thing that I would recommend you to do is to pick a bank that gives you the highest interest rate within the market. For now, I think the highest interest rate that you can actually get is not even 3%, or maybe a little bit more than 3%, but it's not been so high. But I know this can make a huge change, especially if you have some lump sum of cash that you don't really use now, but then you're also not investing it right now, or if you don't really have any plan to invest in stocks or ETFs, it's always better for you to have a bank account with higher interest rate compared to other banks. I personally use Trade Republic, which gives 2% interest rate per year. It actually used to give higher interest rate, I'm pretty sure, in 2023 and 2024. I think the interest rate of Trade Republic was higher than 3.5. But given the fact that the economy has not been doing so great, I can understand the low interest rate. And there's an always website that you can go and compare different interest rates of different banks, for example, Check24. And so I highly recommend you to also check what kind of banks can give you the highest interest rate, and then usually go for that, especially if you have lump sum of cash that is available, but then you're not really investing them, not yet, or you don't really have any plans to invest anytime soon. It's still a bit of cash that you can earn without, you know, doing anything. So I can definitely recommend that as well. And then the fifth thing that I usually do is more about the mindset. Whenever I go to a store, whether it be IKEA or grocery shopping store, I ask myself this question: do I really want this, or do I really need this, or vice versa? Do I really need it, or do I really want it? I started asking myself this question whenever I go somewhere else to buy something, because there are quite a lot of things I realize that I just buy them because I want them. But when I really ask myself this question, sometimes the answer is that I don't really need it. I just want it. I just want to have it, but then I don't really need it in my life at the moment. When I ask myself this question, I usually get this clarification in my mind that I actually wanted to have one, but I actually don't need it. Therefore, I don't have to buy it. And then I can use this money that I could have used for this specific thing for something else that I actually need. It's not that I ask this question all the time when I do grocery shopping or, you know, try to buy something. I don't. But most of the time, I really try to ask myself this question. So the money that I have, it doesn't really get wasted, but then this money can get spent on the things that I actually do need, for my well-being, for my mental health, for things that I actually care about. So yeah, those are the 5 things that I have personally done for myself in order to save a bit of money while living here. If you happen to try all of them, or even just a couple of them, please let me know in the comment section how that goes for you guys, if that works for you, or if you have any better tips than this, please also let me know as well, so I can apply them in my life as well and see if they work for me too. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video again, and I will see you guys later in another video. Ciao!